The accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, is facing potentially quite a bit of time in jail and will not be given bail. That is one of the newest developments, considered a flight risk. This seems very reasonable considering the secretive manner that she and Epstein operated in, her massive financial resources. But not everyone thought that this was a good development. Here's Geraldo.
Let me just get Geraldo back in here. You said don't confuse lurid press accounts with proof. That comes back to the law, Geraldo.
It's true. And, just on the hiding aspect, Bill, she was hiding from the Daily Mail. She was hiding from the New York Post. She was hiding from the National Enquirer. She was one of the most sought after, with the exception maybe of Meghan Markle, the most sought after tabloid figure in the country. Everybody, every reporter that works for one of these tabloids, whether it's People or the National Enquirer, wanted Ghislaine Maxwell to get an interview to show her in her $1 million hideaway in the woods in New Hampshire and so forth. Now, remember, these charges relate to offenses that happened 25 years ago, in 1994 to 1997. I mean, I think these are charges that are wobbly on their face. And for this judge to chicken out and not give this suspect or this defendant bail, I think is copping out to the mob.
There's so much.
Yeah, you get first crack. What's up, JR?
Okay, so first, these tabloids are coming after you. They want to get a shot of you in your mansion or your hideaway. Of course, you're hiding away. I have a good idea. Don't commit heinous crimes if you don't want people coming to talk to you and find out what you're doing and how you're hiding out and all that stuff. That's what tabloids, that's what newspapers, that's what media does. If there's, when a celebrity shows up to trial, they got cameras everywhere. When someone gets arrested, they got cameras everywhere. They're getting the story. So if you don't want to be part of the story, don't do things that'll get you in that situation. Number one, what happened is personal responsibility. And it happened 24 years ago. Really? So what, is it over? And there's no basis for his statement that, hey, these charges are shaky, whatever he said, are wobbly at best. Based on what? Finish that sentence. They're shaky based on what? What is it you've read? What is it you've seen that tells you they're shaky? What part of that tells you that it's shaky? And 25 years ago, what does that mean? It's over? So if a girl is 14 years old, gets raped and trapped in this guy's villa, or whatever he called it, his island, then 25 years later, suddenly they have no recourse. Their life hasn't been changed. Many of them their lives are destroyed. Many of them can't have a healthy relationship because of what you did to them as a child. So does that change everything? At what point? Is it at the 7-year mark? Is it the statute of limitations that a raped child suddenly has no more problems anymore? Or that their brain hasn't been completely screwed up from what you did systematically and passed them around? That changes after 24 years? What's that point mean? What does that mean with it? If you've talked to anyone who's ever been assaulted like that at that age, ask them, oh, you're fine, right? And see if they honestly tell you that they're fine. If they tell you that everything is fine, none of it ever bothered them, they don't trust you. Trust me.
Well, and regardless of what it means, it's so weird the bubble that media figures get to exist in. So he said that to some other people on Fox. Say it to some of the people who were trafficked. Tell them how wobbly the charges are. How long ago it was. Really, you're still all messed up about this? Which, by the way, should be an indication that maybe it does matter. The fact that so many people are still so bothered by the horrific experience that they had, not just at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, but her as well. She is primarily talked about as a sort of procurer and groomer, but multiple women say that she took part in the sexual assaults as well. So it would be horrific enough, but she also was doing the things that Jeffrey Epstein was doing. He knows all of this. Absolutely. I know that people are like speculating in the chat about him being on lists or something like that. I have absolutely no information to that effect, and I doubt that it's actually true. I have no idea, but I don't know what Geraldo is on about in this. That this is the hill you die on, is that we're being unfair to Maxwell, a multi-millionaire who, best case scenario, is we get her now, and she only got a couple of decades of freedom after committing God knows how many horrific crimes.
Mm-hmm. It's one of two things. We talk about crimes in this country and how people get off. If you watched any of the details about this case, Epstein got off for many years when he was blatantly and obviously caught. So that normal system is what Geraldo's used to. If nothing else, like I agree with you, there's no reason for us to believe that he's part of the list or whatever. So that speculation I don't need. But if nothing else, at minimum, he is thinking, man, people like this don't get caught up. We don't prosecute rich, powerful people. We don't do that in this country. Why would you do that? And we definitely don't keep them in jail until 2021, which is apparently the potential or trial date. But we'll keep people in jail indefinitely that commit crimes like drug possession, nonviolent crimes. We'll keep them in jail indefinitely, and many of them go through things in prison that destroy their lives as well. But we don't care because they're just some regular person who doesn't have any money. What does money have to do with law and order?
Yeah.
That's the first problem. And number two, there's people he knows that are getting caught up potentially in this, and he definitely wants to protect them. So I think it's more he's protecting buddies than he is protecting himself.
Maybe. I don't know. When you go on the news and you say bizarre things like this, people have to wonder. And I don't assume the worst based on it. And especially in this area, anything to do with pedophilia generates more theories that go wild faster than anything else. So I try to avoid that. But it is really weird, especially the particular thing he was defending her on was the idea that she's not a flight risk. He was agreeing with her. What are you talking about? We just found out yesterday she had a secret marriage, which she had been concealing. To who? I don't know, because she's not telling anyone. Which I didn't even know was a thing, that you could just conceal who you're married to. And not to say that that makes her a flight risk. I would say that her countless millions of untraceable dollars makes her a flight risk. The fact that she apparently was like hiding her phone in tinfoil to evade detection, and she attempted to flee when they went to arrest her. The fact that she tried to fly away is a risk in terms of her flying away, I would say.
Well, she probably can't afford a plane ticket, John. She probably doesn't have enough money to get a flight out of the country.
Yeah. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.